Swifty Blue, a rapper from out here in LA, recently it was announced that 19 people were charged in an alleged Mexican Mafia conspiracy to kill him. You made a video about this.
Yeah, I'm shocked that you brought that up right now. I absolutely did make a video on that yesterday.
What's your take on this?
That's a very sensitive subject. That's a very serious subject. It really is. It really is.
Okay, so what's Swifty Blue's alliance? Is he Mexican Mafia or is he something else?
No. So if we want to talk about the Mexican Mafia, that is a few individuals, maybe in the hundreds, 200s, at the highest level of that prison or gang organization.
Okay, so that's different from just being a Sereno.
Way more different.
Okay, I just thought that was all encompassed. I thought the Mexican Mafia essentially became Serenos and over time. Man. That's not a thing?
I'll break it down. Let's go top down.
Okay.
Mexican Mafia. Associate, also known as a camarada. Down Sureño, and then what they call Southsiders. Then you got Swifty Blue down here in this area.
Okay.
But you understand everybody answers to the top.
So the Mexican Mafia is the boss of all this.
100%.
So every Sereno has to answer to the Mexican Mafia. Every Southsider, Mexican Mafia,
yep.
So forth. So what this means is that someone at the very top put out a hit on him?
That's what they're alleging in the LA Times article, yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what it says.
The people that are charged with this, are they already in prison?
It said, it named like 10 people, or 19. Half of them were in prison, the other half were not, which is not uncommon. So let me show you how crime works in prison. You'll have the guys inside a prison on prison yards, let's say a general population, active. They have cell phones, contraband. They are in communication with gang members on the streets. They tell them what they want to happen, when they want it to happen. So guess what? Now you're conspiring. Now you are working hand to hand. So that's why you'll see in these indictments, individuals that are incarcerated getting rolled up in these RICOs as well as people on the streets. They're working in cohesion through means of communication.
Well, what was the alleged hit over?
Now that was not articulated in the article, but I could kind of guess, but that's not one of the things I want to be guessing on, especially if it's not true.
Okay.
I do know that if you're generating revenue and you are a member of that organization, you are expected to pay Uncle Sam, per se.
Kick up.
Yeah.
Okay, so that might be it? He wasn't kicking up money?
I don't know that for a fact, but that would be a possibility. That would be a reason.
Well, why would 19 people conspire to do a murder? You know, I've always felt like if I'm going to kill somebody, I'm going to have to just do it myself. Because if I tell anybody, if I get anyone involved, now they got a get out of jail free card to put me, in prison for life. So it doesn't make any sense to me.
One thing I'm known for is being honest and transparent and real. So just imagine you got 5 dudes in prison, but you got 10 guys out on the streets. It can be like, hey, Vlad, come take a drive with me, man. I'm going to go to 7-Eleven and I got to make this phone call. Just because you were in the car with me, guess what? Now you're part of this conspiracy. And you're ordering, certain things to be done. Hey, can I borrow your car? Yeah, you can borrow my car. It's not necessarily that they all 19 were plotting. It can just be, what it can be is law enforcement getting as much fish in the barrel for people could speak and start telling.
So, okay, so they got 19 people arrested, hoping that a few of them will start to turn on the others because they didn't do nothing. I just let them borrow my car.
Right.
I don't know nothing about this murder. I mean, he mentioned it afterwards, but I didn't know that was...
And those are examples.
You're cooperating and
those are examples.
Yeah,
that's kind of what that looks like. Why so many people get jammed up.
I mean, do you think that the Swifty Blue is safe at this point now that this happened, or does this make him more of a target?
And I love to do wishful thinking, and I wish the best for everyone, to include Swifty Blue. But in my humble opinion, I believe by LA Times putting that out, and by even me thinking, why did I do that video? I believe that the more exposure it gets, it's almost like you're forcing a hand. You're forcing your what do they say? You're making it come to fruition. That one.
But aren't you also bringing so much attention to it that if it gets done, it'll be obvious who did it?
It's already obvious where it's going to come from. People don't get touched for no reason.
Huh.
Or on that caliber.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I've never heard of a rapper having a hit put out on him by a major gang. I've heard groups, you hear about the King Von situation, but that's just like little groups of people. I've never heard of an official, there's a hit by the Crips or the Bloods or the Mexican Mafia. Like, that sounds crazy.
And maybe, because I did do that video yesterday, and I kind of not did it on a whim, but it's like, hey, he was attacked in LA County Jail. Maybe that might have been a checking. Maybe it might have very damn well been a checking. Like, hey, here's a warning. Next time will not be a warning. That's what possibly that could have been.
Yeah, man, I hope he's okay.
Correct.
He's been on No Jumper a few times. It's my friend Adam's podcast. So, yeah, I don't want to see anything happen over just being a rapper at the end of the day. Like,
right.
It's crazy enough just doing that without.
But it's a fine line, man. When you start saying certain words or organizations on your rap music, you just now blended the lines.